Thank the member. Further debate. Recognize a member from Etobicoke North.
Thank you, Speaker. I salute my colleague from the opposite way there. Doctors always support pharmacists. As you know, it's a team effort on the delivery of health care. Of course, we recognize, honor the memory of Ryan and salute his family for coming forward and not only sharing their grief, but let's say repurposing their experience for the benefit of all Ontarians' children. Asthma, as you may know, Speaker, is a Greek word that means difficulty breathing. If I might speak as a doctor, I think for a moment that it's really a tragedy on many different levels, not only that people should actually lose their life due to asthma, but even suffer from their daily activities. Because we as doctors, and my colleague opposite as a pharmacist and the nurses who have spoken know, that if you have the right puffers at the right time and the right dosage, you really should essentially be able to conduct your life as you like it, with full activity. I just review for a moment, there's basically two processes that happen in asthma. The first is that the airways or the windpipe tightens up. That's what leads to the flute music or the music, or some of my patients say, oh doctor, that's the gypsy music coming from my lungs. And the other process is what we call inflammation or friendly fire, or the lungs kind of go to war with themselves. And of course, there are particular puffers that are for both of these. The emergency puffers, Speaker, as you may know, are the ones that open the airway instantaneously. It's the famous blue puffer, salbutamol or Ventolin as it's known. That has to not only be available in a timely fashion, and yes, I agree with my colleagues opposite, should likely be carried on the person of the individual, because time is of the essence in this matter, of course. But I want to just say that perhaps whether it's Ontarians listening to me or my colleagues or individuals who have asthma, that medical progress and the devices and the medications are available to the point where you really, if you're using this stuff on a regular basis properly, you really should be able to avoid, I would say for the most part, any and all asthma attacks. And what I mean by that, for example, there are certain puffers where with a single device, a single inhaler, a single puffer is embedded 2 or 3 medications that do it all at once. For example, they will open the airway quick, they will open the airway long, meaning for 8 to 10 hours, and they will also dry the inflammation or the crud or the phlegm or the inflammatory fluid that's in there. And as I say, whatever the triggers are, whether it's the friendly family cat or industrial asthma, for example, we know there's a whole category called occupational asthma, or whether it's allergy driven, whether it's, as we call it, aeroallergy driven, for example, during summertime, trees, pollens, grasses, and so on. All of these things can be anticipated, and hopefully with a judicious and intelligent review with the family physician and the family, and perhaps, of course, the larger circle of care, which no doubt would involve the principal and the school system, all of these things can be avoided. For example, there is a type of asthma called exercise-induced asthma. We know that kids are basically fine, but if they actually go and challenge themselves, as I guess it's like a stress test, which could be playing hockey, running upstairs, or playing any of the many sports, we know that if they pre-treat themselves, for example, let's say 15 to 20 to 30 minutes before they actually go through that stress, they kind of cover that activity. So all of these things, Speaker, are the types of conversations that we as family doctors have, not only with patients individually, with families, and of course for those of us who are responsible for teaching and publicizing that information on a broader basis, not only to the public but also to fellow physicians. So we certainly salute this bill. As I say, doctors are obligated to support pharmacists in all their various initiatives, so I do that as is the protocol, but I think it's a very worthy, and once again saluting to the Gibbons family. Thank you, Speaker.